Hello guys, this is Malachi Branch Productions here today with another video, and the first kind of this video that I'm going to be, this type of video format that I'm going to be doing. I said this in a community post, but I'm kind of struggling a little bit right now to find what kinds of new videos to make, so for now, at least, and again, this mainly depends on if I liked the format, I guess you'd say, but yeah, today we're going to be doing a DVD watch through. Well, I don't have any capturing footage, so I'm just going to be using the phone camera. But yeah, so what are we going to be doing the first DVD watch through? Now, I should probably state some things. I'm only going to be doing DVD watch throughs if I do end up like in this format. If it's something that one I have seen pretty extensively and will have something to say about the thing in question. Two, if it's a complete series set or like a season set of something, again, need to have watched it, I guess you'd say. And three, I will be taking requests, but again, if you do have a request, and if you've been a long time viewer of this channel and know what I have in my collection, then you can feel free to leave some comments asking if you'd like to see any more of these. But yeah, the first couple I will, without a doubt, be just choosing them on my own, I guess you'd say. But yeah. So what is the first DVD watch through that we're going to be making? Well, it is. Well, I mean, you saw by the title, obviously, but yes, it is the Danny Phantom the Complete Series set. So yeah, before we do actually just go straight to the menu, might as well just give my opinion on Danny Phantom. Well, I mean, I've kind of given it before, but yeah, I really like Danny Phantom as a show. It's in my top 20 favorite shows of all time, and it's also my fourth favorite Nickelodeon show, and one of the few that I actually still really like. Yeah, I really like a lot of things about Danny Phantom. I like the characters, I like the humor. The characters are very. I know I said something about the characters already, but most of them are pretty three dimensional. The plot is very good and pretty unique for the time, I guess you'd say. And yeah, again, I did say I like most of the humor. Not all of it lands, obviously, but there's a lot that did that does land. But yeah, I might as well just comment on this before we get to the actual DVDs. But yeah, let me just say I'm gonna be giving some very opinionated, kind of hot takes in this video. But yeah, now I haven't seen every episode of Danny Phantom. Let's just get that out of the way. But I have seen quite a bit, so for the certain episodes on each disc, I will be giving my opinions on the episodes that I have seen. Well, I'm not gonna go like a full in-depth analysis, but again, I'll be giving my opinion to kind of make this a bit more interesting. Like, I'm not just gonna be going into a fucking menu and be like, oh, this is what this thing does right here, and crap like that. But yeah, I will try to give my opinion on every episode that I've seen. But yeah, also might as well add this disclaimer too. The volume is turned down on the TV. One, because a lot of these freaking DVDs, the complete series sets, for example, and scene sets, they have looped music and it can be pretty annoying. And two, I mean, I don't know if the Danny Phantom theme song is necessarily copyrighted, but I don't want to risk the chance. I mean, it's not like I made money on these anyway, but I don't want it to be like I'm just going to upload it and it just gets copyright claimed instantly. But yeah, let's pause so we can get the first disc in. Well, yeah, this time. Okay, enough rambling. Let's get to the first disc. Okay, so yeah, we got we kind of just jump straight to the episode selection because I think that's all that matters that much anyway. But yeah, I will be using the PlayStation 4 for all of these. By the way, I do have other ways of kind of showing off the DVDs. I guess you'd say. I mean, I have the Xbox 360, and I know PlayStation 2 also has DVD playability factors. But I mean, I think the main thing I use is the PlayStation 4. But yeah, so the episodes on the first disc, yeah, this is season 1, by the way, I should be kind of obvious, but yeah, the episodes on this disc are Mystery Meat, One of a Kind, Parental Bonding, Attack of the Killer Garage Sale, and Splitting Images. Okay, I think they kind of slightly changed the order. I think, actually, Parental Bonding is the second episode, and One of a Kind is the third, but I don't know, I don't really know, IMDb isn't always completely accurate, but I've seen nearly every episode on this disc except for Parental Bonding, so I'll kind of okay, let's just try to give my opinions on each episode as we go along, but yeah, might as well talk about the first episode, Mystery Meat. Decent first episode of the show. I mean, it's not necessarily the like crowning jewel of Danny Phantom or anything, but I mean, it was an enjoyable episode. It had decent humor. Displayed the characters' personalities well enough for a first episode, and yeah, not a whole lot to say about that one. But One of a Kind, the second episode on this disc at least, is pretty great actually. It actually introduced a new villain by the name of Stolter, and I think he's actually a great villain, by the way. And yeah, I think this is kind of the first. I mean, this is kind of a fan favorite among the episodes, but I mean, I liked it for sure. I definitely liked it more than the first episode, but I don't think Danny Phantom got super good until about kind of halfway through the first season. Like, again, the early episodes are still pretty cool, but again, not anything super fantastic, I guess you'd say. But yeah. Then there's a tad of the Killer Garage Sale, which I thought was. I think this is probably kind of like the best, well, one of the best episodes of early Danny Phantom. This one introduced Tetanus, who I thought was pretty cool, and again, it's kind of hard to commentate on the early episodes of Danny Phantom because there's not really a whole lot to talk about, but again, Ted of the Killer Garage Sale is fine. And then we have Splitting Images, which this is kind of the one that I've seen the most of, because I mean, it's on the Nitpits Volume 2 set. Well, I think it's just called Nitpits 2, and it's also in Season 1, and yeah, I thought this episode was probably like really the best episode of like the first 5, I guess you'd say. Well, I haven't seen Parental Bonding, but again, like Splitting Images, it was kind of cool, I guess you'd say. But yeah, okay, I'm sorry if I didn't provide super in-depth commentary again. I'm just trying to give my opinion on each episode, so there's at least something. But yeah, now that we got all 5 of these episodes out of the way, let's move on to Disc 2 of Season 1. Okay, so we are now on the second disc of Season 1, and yeah, I do kind of like how they do, even though the kind of front discs of each one, like of each season, are kind of pretty samey across all 4, at least on the front. They do change the background, which I think is kind of cool, but yeah, I think the last one was a blue background, this one's a red one, and yeah, the episodes on here are What You Want, Bitter Reunions, Prisoners of Love, My Brother's Keeper, and Shades of Grey, and I've only seen 2 episodes on this disc. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna be quite frank. I've been trying to watch more of, well, not just Danny Phantom, but of a lot of the shows I really like. But okay, here's kind of a bit of a personal confession. I kind of get a weird feeling hearing like the exact same VAs of like each of my favorite shows being just like very synonymous with each one, and I think it's kind of odd, and I don't know why. It just gives me a weird feeling. I don't know why, but yeah, Bitter Reunions, I think, was a great, I think this is actually probably where Danny Phantom started getting pretty solid overall. Well, I mean, again, I do like some of the earlier episodes, but I think Bitter Reunions, this is truly where the kind of shifting point happened, I guess you'd say. But, yeah, Bitter Reunions, again, great episode, great introduction of Vlad. Vlad's a great character, and, yeah, the only other episode, again, that I've seen on here is My Brother's Keeper, which I think is one of the best episodes of the series. One thing that I really like about this episode is it took Jazz, who in the episodes before this one was really just kind of just the stereotypical protective older sister, and made her a lot more than that. Like, it gave her pretty solid character development in this episode, and yeah, that's all I really have to say for the episodes on Disc 2. Now it is time to move on to Disc 3. Okay, so the background for the third disc of Season 1 is green, again, changing the color palette for each background, but yeah, okay, this one we have a bit more to talk about, because I mean, I've seen most of the episodes on here, but okay, let's just, I mean, I think you see the episodes, but the episodes on here are Fan in the Flames, Teacher of the Year, 13, which ironically is the 13th episode, Public Enemies, and Fright Night. Yeah, I've seen the first 3 on here, haven't seen the other 2, but again, really need to catch up on watching some of these. But yeah, the first episode, Fan in the Flames. Okay, I'm just gonna be quite frank. It's been nearly 3 years since I've seen this episode, but I have seen it, and from what I remember of it, again, really good episode. One of, again, the best episodes of Danny Phantom. It was great. It introduced Ember. He's probably one of my favorite villains. Well, again, villains, quote unquote, because, okay, I think something kind of odd about, okay, not really odd, but something about the kind of villains of Danny Phantom is they're not exactly just super evil. I mean, there are obviously a couple that are kind of true evil, but again, they're kind of just more on the fun side, I guess you'd say. But yeah, Fan in the Flames is cool. Teacher of the Year, okay, that one I really liked this one. One thing I really liked about this one is it kind of centered around kind of a. I tend to really like games that kind of center. I mean, episodes of shows that center around kind of the main characters playing computer games. I guess you'd say like kind of MMO type ones. And yeah, Teacher of the Year was a great example of that. Tetanus came back, and I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, and then we have 13, which I actually watched a couple months ago. I think I actually watched this one over at the infamous Other House, I guess you'd say. But yeah, 13. It was fine. I mean, Johnny 13 isn't that interesting of a villain, at least to me. But again, mostly a decent episode. But yeah, the only thing I have to comment about the last two is for some reason the front picture for Public Enemies that's like the exact same one that they used for My Brother's Keeper, which was on the last disc. I don't know. I think that was a mistake, but again, it's kind of weird. Anyways, let's move on to the last disc of season 1 now. Okay, now we are to the episode selection, and yeah, again, we will comment on the change. The background for this one, for disc 4, is I think that's purple or pink. I don't know what it is, but yeah, the episodes on here are Maternal Instinct, Lunty in Love, Life Lessons, The $1,000,000 Ghost. Okay, I think it's actually named The $1,000,000,000 Ghost, but I need to check that. And the last one is Control Freaks, and literally the only episode I've seen on here is Control Freaks, and yeah, I actually really liked that episode. It was one thing I gotta really compliment about it is it really showed that Danny Phantom, while mostly pretty lighthearted in tone for the most part, it didn't mind getting a little bit dark here and there, and Control Freaks did that because the Villain Freak show, he sets up a circus, and basically he's kind of just, in more blunt terms, racist against ghosts, and he has this like magic septum or scepter. I don't know what it's exactly called. That actually mind controls ghosts, and he has a bunch of ghosts to basically be his henchmen. And again, I really like Control Freaks. Okay, I might as well just say this. The reason why I'm not going super in depth with the episodes here is, well, one, I don't want this video to be too long, and two, I think this stuff is kind of set up, I guess you'd say, or more suited for a top 10 list or top 20. Okay, I don't think I'm going to do a top 20 Danny Phantom episodes list, but again, I do have plans of doing a top 10, so again, don't want to just completely spoil every entry, but yeah, anyways, now that we are done with season 1, let's move on to my favorite season of Danny Phantom, which is season 2. Okay, so like I said, Danny Phantom season 2 is my favorite season of Danny Phantom, and yeah, now I know a lot of fans consider the first one. I think there are a lot of kind of fans of the show that say like the show got progressively worse with each season, but I don't think that's true. Season 2, like I said, this had the best episodes of Danny Phantom, but despite it being my favorite season, I don't like what they did with the discs or the DVDs for season 2, or what Chat Factory did with them. So, what did they do that I didn't like? Well, despite Danny Phantom being a more story-driven show and having a lot more continuity than a show like SpongeBob or, okay, well, maybe Invaders might not be the best example, but other than, it may be, even though it's more continuity-driven than shows like SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron, I guess, Invader Zim, and a lot of other Nickelodeon shows, they still decided to scatter the episodes anyway. And yeah, I mean, you could again just watch the episodes in order through like episode selection, but it's really not that great for when you're actually binging the show, which I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who like doing that with shows. But yeah, the episodes on here are Rainstorm Parts 1 and 2. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't just combine them, but yeah, Dodgers Disorders, Identity Crisis, The Fenton Menace, and Pirate Radio. Now, I've actually seen, I think, about 4 of the episodes here, specifically Rainstorm, Dodgers Disorders, and Identity Crisis, and Yeah, I actually really liked pretty much all of these. Rainstorm is by far one of the best episodes of Danny Phantom yet. Yeah, I really liked the story that this one went through. I thought it was kind of cool to be. I think it was kind of a bit of a villain team up, I guess you'd say. Well, maybe it's not that much of one in the traditional sense, but again, Rainstorm was a really good freaking episode of Danny Phantom, and it was another one that also did go more on the dark side. And we have Doctor's Disorders, which I thought that one was pretty cool. I did like the joke, the humor in that one. It was probably one of the funniest episodes, I guess you'd say. But yeah. Then there was Identity Crisis, which I kind of forget that one. I'm just gonna be quite frank. Yeah, I don't know what to say about it. I have seen it, just don't remember it a whole lot. But yeah. Anyways, that's gonna do it for the first disc of season 2. Now, time to move on to the next one. Okay, here we have the next disc of season 2, which okay, I feel like I should also say this. Season 2 actually, it's not just one whole season when it comes to the DVD releases. For some reason, I don't know why they did this, but they actually split the season DVDs into two parts. Like the last disc, that was actually season 2 part 1, which for some reason is only on one disc. And then we have season 2 part 2, which has two discs, which again, I don't really get why, because I mean, season 2 is shorter than season 1. I mean, it's not like season 2 had like a significantly more amount of episodes. Crap, like I said, it actually has less. But for some reason, they decided to split them apart, which I do not get. But yeah, yeah. Okay, let's actually look at all the episodes on here because they actually have a next option, which is kind of different from the other ones. But yeah, the episodes on here are Memory Blank, The Ultimate Enemy, The Fright Before Christmas, and let's go down and push next. And the last ones are Secret Weapons, Flirting with Disaster, and Micromanagement. And oh yeah, they also changed the artwork on the back, which I think is actually pretty nice. But yeah, I haven't seen any episodes on this part of the DVD, but I have seen the first two on here, Memory Blank and The Ultimate Enemy. Now, Memory Blank, I kind of, again, not when I necessarily remember a whole lot, but I do remember watching it, and I did watch it, and it was pretty cool from what I remember it, but it's nothing compared to the other episode on here that I've seen, which is The Ultimate Enemy, which they actually have listed as a double episode. I don't know why they didn't do have Rainstorm, which was also a two-parter, but again, this is kind of weird, but yeah, The Ultimate Enemy, absolute freaking banger of an episode. Probably might be my favorite Danny Phantom episode. I mean, not only is it by far the darkest one, but it's probably one of the most impactful ones without a doubt. Because I mean, it touches on the butterfly effect, which I think is pretty cool, and it also has a really powerful message. I know I don't always compliment those about TV shows. Well, I mean, I do value them. I don't know, but again, I really like the message here, which is trying. Okay, I don't know how to quite. But it basically tried to make sure you make all the right decisions, and okay, I'm probably oversimplifying it, but again, it will probably be on the top 10 Danny Phantom episodes list. Well, it definitely will, but again, I'll explain it more in that video when it eventually do make it. But yeah, let's move on to the last disc of season 2, part 2. Okay, now we are on to the last disc of season 2, but yeah, I don't think seen any episodes on this half, but again, I do like how they for season 2 they did change the backgrounds up quite a bit. Like it's not just like the colored backgrounds; they actually have pictures of Danny on the background, which I think is pretty cool. But the episodes on this part are Beauty Mart, Teen Tuck, and Masters of All Time, and the ones on the next side are Double Cross My Heart, Reality Trip, which is another. Well, it's another two-parter, which is pretty cool, and also Kindred Spirits. Now, the I have actually seen the first two on this part, Double Cross My Heart and Reality Trip. Now, Double Cross My Heart, I think I remember it being a decent episode, although I know that one's a bit more, okay, not quite hated, but a lot of people tend to like this one a little bit less than other people, but again, I didn't really think it was all too bad, actually, and Reality Chip, yet again, another banger episode. They tend to, whenever they do a double episode of Danny Phantom, okay, the way I would describe it with Danny Phantom is it's kind of a little bit like Jimmy Neutron when it comes to quality of the double episode. Like, they tend, like double episodes of Danny Phantom are kind of where it's really in its element, I guess you'd say. Well, not necessarily quite that, because I mean the regular length episodes are actually pretty great as well usually, but especially the double episodes, those tend to be super freaking good. Like, I mean, Rainstorm was a double episode. I love that one. Ultimate Enemy was also a double episode. I love that one. And Reality Trip is also a double episode, and I really fucking like that one as well. To basically kind of shortly describe how it is, it's kind of basically take what the plot of Infinity. Okay, it's not. I'm not gonna try and argue it's a ripoff. Like, it's really not. But it's kind of like if Infinity War was in Danny Phantom, kind of, I guess you'd say. Well, at least with the kind of reality stone thing. But yeah, that is the end of season 2. Now let's move on to the infamous season 3. Okay, I didn't actually remember this, but apparently they actually do freaking season 3 differently from the other two, because those have like very distinct menus for each one. Like, there's the main menu and then there's the episode selection. But yeah, I guess for season 3, I did watch episodes on these 2 discs, but they just have everything in one menu. So the episodes on here, well, we'll give my opinion on the season in a minute, but the episodes on here are Eye for an Eye, Infinite Realms, Girls Night Out, Torrent of Terror, Forever Phantom, and Urban Jungle. Now, I said I might be spouting some hot takes in this video because that is exactly where they come in now for season 3. Now, season 3 of Danny Phantom is by far the most hated season of this whole show, and it's not even close. Like, anytime I've tried to give an opinion on Danny Phantom, 90% of people say shit like, oh, the show was really good in the first half, but season 3 was really shitty. Well, okay, maybe not everyone said it was absolute shit, but again, people really do not like this season. And while I don't completely disagree when they say it's the worst season, I think those people are really getting carried away when they just straight up say it's shit. Because, okay, let me say this. Like, let's get this real, or let's get this straight. Season 3 of Danny Phantom is not perfect. It definitely had flaws, and I think it's mainly because of really just their over focus on Danny and Sam's relationship. Like, I can definitely agree with that criticism, but I mean, come on. Season 3 of Danny Phantom is really not that bad in the grand scheme of shows that have had a seasonal decline. And okay, I know people say the show had a seasonal rot, but in reality, it really didn't rot. It's just season 3 was a little bit weaker than seasons 1 and 2. It really wasn't that much of a downgrade in comparison to, again, a lot of the other shows in just existence that have had seasonal declines. But yeah, the only episode that I really have comment on for this one, for disc 1 at least, is Urban Jungle. And Urban Jungle, yet again, we got another banger here. Yeah, Urban Jungle is by far, again, one of the best episodes of Danny Phantom. I really liked that one. Again, I'll elaborate more on it probably in the Danny Phantom top 10 list, which, again, don't know when it's going to come out, because, again, you know I have that procrastination issue when watching stuff. But, yeah, anyways, it is going to do it for, well, this disc. Now it is time for the last disc in this video that we will be talking about, and that is Season 3, Disc 2. Okay, so now we are on to the last disc of this whole set, which, this is the 9th disc, and that is, well, Season 3, Disc 2, which I know I already said that, but, yeah, there's even less episodes on this disc, and that's because, well, I think I've stated Danny Phantom is one of those shows that it feels like Nickelodeon really didn't give that much of a shit about it. Because, well, with season 3, they only ordered about, like, 12 episodes, I think, as opposed to the usual, like, 20 or so the other 2 seasons. But, yeah. Anyways, the episodes on here are Living Large, Monster Up Fury, Frightmare, Club, The Wild, Destabilized, and the very hated Phantom Planet. Now, yeah, the only 2, again, that I have real huge commentary on, I guess you'd say, are Frightmare and, well, Phantom Planet. But, yeah, Frightmare, I think, again, another very good episode of the show, and one of the best in Season 3. And, yeah, me saying Season 3 wasn't that bad was actually not the only hot take that I was going to be saying in this video, because Phantom Planet, okay, again, I'm probably going to get in some shit from the fan base when I say this, but Phantom Planet is a really overhated finale episode of the show. Like, again, people fucking hate this episode. And, okay, again, I'll say, I think we can agree that it wasn't the best finale that the show could have ended on. Like, there were definitely still loose ends that needed to be tied. But I think if you just look at it as an episode, I thought the show ended on a decent note, or it ended on a fairly good note. Now, again, Phantom Planet, not the best finale that they could have went with, but I thought it was still a pretty good episode. I don't think I'm going to be putting it on my top 10 Danny Phantom episodes list, but again, people need to chill the fuck out when it comes to not only Phantom Planet, but just on this whole season. Because, again, don't get me wrong, Danny Phantom Season 3, again, was not perfect, but it really is not that bad. Like, again, just, you guys are getting too carried away. Anyways, that is going to do it for this DVD walkthrough video. Again, I don't think this is the best type of freaking DVD videos I could do, but again, I think it is kind of fun to do. Just if let's say you're interested in checking out these sets or DVDs, for example, or maybe you just want to, maybe you just like hearing about the episodes being talked about, I guess you'd say, or I don't know, but yeah, like I said, I don't think this is going to be the only one I'm going to be doing. I do have a couple others planned, particularly the sets for Avatar: Last Airbender, Teen Titans, the Invader Zim Media Blasters volumes, and the Death Note complete series that I have. Let's actually zoom out, but yeah, like I said, really like Danny Phantom. It is one of my favorite Nickelodeon shows, and I think it's kind of underrated, actually, a little bit. Now, not to say the show doesn't have a fan base, because it definitely does, but, I mean, the show only has a 7.1 on IMDb. I think that's a bit too low. I think it deserves at least a 7.5 or 7.6 at least, but, again, IMDb ratings aren't always the most accurate, at least in my opinion, but, yeah, again, that's gonna do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you guys in the next video. And I'm sorry that I filmed this with a phone camera and not just... Well, I mean, I don't really have a computer, so, I mean, I might, if I do get a computer at some point, I will probably just do these on them, but, again, for now, phone camera it is, but, yeah, anyway, see you guys in the next video.